Hi, my name is Bear, and let's start with Deep Sky Derelicts. This list is filled with various unique styled games that may be interesting for the fans of Darkest Dungeon, and Deep Sky Derelicts is definitely one of them. It is an original combination of turn-based strategy and RPG enriched with tactical card combat and roguelike elements. Here you'll explore derelict alien ships, fight, loot and upgrade your gear, and all that is presented in a distinctive retro-futuristic comic book aesthetic style. I think that the comic style of the game is absolutely awesome, and as a fan of horror sci-fi comics, I melted in my place like a snowman in between hot boobies. People on Steam are saying that this is a really decent dungeon crawler with incredibly cool combat style. The game will take about 20 hours to beat, so it can be a nice investment into your upcoming leisure time. But on the Steam sale I've seen it getting 85% discount, so maybe you want to wait for a while. And we all know that there is no better channel covering Steam sales on the whole YouTube than this one. So subscribe, don't miss a thing. Legend of Keepers. This is a mix of dungeon management and roguelite where you will lead your career as a dungeon manager. You'll join Dungeons Company and climb the corporate ladder, crush so-called heroes, and protect the company's treasures. Your work will consist of hiring monsters, managing your employees, and keeping an eye on your stock of traps. You don't want to run out of traps, that's for sure. Also, all that managing stuff can quickly go out of hand, and just like in France every day, you will have to deal with employee strikes and other unexpected events. But hey, it's not a democracy here. You go on strike, you go into a meat grinder. Well, it's a figure of speech, or is it? Each run will be different, but you will keep some of the bonuses between runs. First, you will have to plan your defense against a group of adventurers, check their stats and resistances, and then place the best traps and monsters to defeat them. Or, you know, shamefully die and try again and again. Legend of Keepers has very positive reviews on Steam, so it may be the game you were looking for after all. Rogue Lords. This is a dark fantasy roguelike where you play as the devil. Instead of buying souls and, you know, giving people what they want like Satan Claus everyone loves, you will lead a band of famous evil geniuses through various events and turn-based fights to spread terror and corruption. Create synergies between your disciples, use your evil powers, and take revenge on those miserable demon hunters. You know what is the scariest thing for a demon hunter? Demon hunter. And that's you and your minions. Of course, only when you win, because sometimes you will encounter demon hunters, and then you die. So here, run after run, you will manage your team as they encounter unforeseen events and be in charge of a turn-based combat. To reinstate your hold over the world of humans, you must first regain the strength you previously wielded by taking possession of artifacts with legendary power. People on Steam are saying that Rogue Lords is a nice game, but it's infuriatingly slow. You will spend most of the time walking the main map, and the difficulty levels sometimes have extreme spikes. That's why this game has only mostly positive review score on Steam, but if you're a patient gamer, that shouldn't bother you. Gloomhaven. At first this was made as a tabletop game, and as it reached incredible popularity it was remade into a video game as well. It has all the features of dungeon crawlers like Darkest Dungeon, but stands out of the rest with a cool twist of 3D setting. So here you will lead your band of mercenaries through this unforgiving place where every move is crucial. Yeah, you sneeze, you die. No, probably not, but you get the point. You will have to carve your way through dungeons, forests and dark caves filled with horrific monsters to reap your rewards, or die trying, possibly the latter, over and over again. People are talking that this game will surprise you with the amount of unique monsters, high replay value and 100 hours of content, but it can scare you away with its very steep learning curve, so don't expect anything easy, it's not your sister. Across the Obelisk. A turn-based dungeon crawler roguelike RPG and a member of the deck-building family. You can play it alone or in 4-player co-op mode and prove that your party is led by a tactical genius. And it's you are a very smart and beautiful person. Now, subscribe, this praise isn't free. Anyway, the game is an owner of very positive reviews on Steam. 92% of players are happy with the purchase, so if a deck-building aspect doesn't scare you, it's a no-brainer. Especially if you have a friend with whom or from whom you can conquer these lands. You'll find more than 500 different cards and a procedural generated system that makes this game highly replayable. People on Steam are saying that this is a very fun game, although it might get boring after a while, so better snatch it on a sale. Iratus, Lord of the Dead. You will find yourself fighting for the forces of darkness in the role of Necromancer Iratus, recently freed from millennia-long imprisonment. So instead of drinking in some bar and picking up strangers for the one-night stands, you want nothing more than to raise the dead. And you do. You control an obedient army of living dead with skeletons, zombies, banshees, and many other unliving warriors. And you create your soldiers the only way a necromancer knows how, from the body parts of your slain enemies. The more you slay, the more parts you have.
Yes, Queen, slay!
The game is single player only, so everything is made for your pleasure. People are talking that Iratus is an easier version of Darkest Dungeon, although a little too linear. On Steam it has very positive reviews, so it's a good game and it will take about 30 hours out of your boring life. Vambrace, Cold Soul. I was ready to ignore this game because of its low review score on Steam, but when I was browsing forums searching for information about games like Darkest Dungeon, surprisingly Vambrace was one of the hits. A lot of people were recommending it to others, as gamers in comments are saying Vambrace Cold Soul has beautiful art, fascinating lore and interesting characters. But putting all of this together into a video game seemed a challenge for developers. It lacks features, so the feeling in general is that the game was rushed through the creation process. Despite that, most of the people who are not recommending this game have about 20 hours of game time recorded. That's not something you do when you don't like things. So take all this negativity with a grain of salt, maybe even with a spoon of salt, or a bucket. But happy players are telling us that this is a great detective RPG with Darkest Dungeon mechanics. They say that the story alone is worthy of your attention. Well, what can I say, it's like your sister, looks great but has some flaws, so this is an obvious candidate for your wishlist. Put it in there, wait for a sale, acquire and enjoy. Warsaw. This is a challenging turn-based tactical RPG set in an occupied Polish capital during World War II. You will pick your heroes, arm them with salvaged weapons, and navigate historic streets. You will need to survive for 63 days of hell in this historically accurate game about brave Polish fighting for their city. I am 1/16 Polish myself, so I guess I can immerse in this game a bit more than a typical gamer with less Polish genes in their gene pool. Anyway, people on Steam are saying that here Nazis will give you real hell. They are ruthless, they will outnumber you and they will kill the ones you love. And you are so lucky that they are so stupid. Be sure it's the game for you. Parallels with nowadays are strong here. Anyway, life will win over death and the light will win over darkness, sooner or later. Nadir, a Grimdark deck builder. I can almost guarantee that you have never heard about it. This is another deck builder roguelike RPG, but with even darker and gloomier notes than Darkest Dungeon itself. Its artwork is inspired by infernal fire and many extraordinary legends, the deepest of them coming straight from Dante's Divine Comedy. As developers say, this is a child of Slay the Spire and Darkest Dungeon. You will command an avatar of one of the deadly sins in 1 versus 1 fights against powerful demons. You can craft your own cards, gather resources and unlock new characters and vendors. People on Steam are saying that it's all plain and simple. If you like roguelike deck building games, you really can't go wrong with this one. Although you will go wrong by making bad choices in game, which will lead you to your death. That is guaranteed.
But what's then? You are already in hell.
Shut up. Vagrus, the Riven realms. When I was a teenager long time ago, I always tried to invent some board games in the image of Dungeons and Dragons or GU RPS. I created maps and heroes on paper, made artifacts with backstories, and when I saw Vagrus for the first time, I realized what it reminds me of. It looks like all those games I invented back then came to life in this professionally made story-rich game. That is honestly more of a story than a game. Although keep in mind that Vagrus is a very hard game. If you are looking for a casual experience, it is definitely not a good choice for you. So here you'll find a vast realm to explore, filled with unique locations, strange factions, and a colorful cast of characters. The continent is a wasteland riddled with arcane anomalies, swarming with twisted monsters, and haunted by roaming undead even after long centuries of rebuilding. People on Steam are saying that this is a beautiful game, but only for those with the patience and critical thinking. Despite that, the combat here is very basic and based on RNG, so don't expect miracles. Mad Crown. This is a dungeon-crawling roguelike RPG set in a dieselpunk world, hundreds of years after the human race destroyed the world with nuclear weapons. And in the real world, where Russia threatens West with nuclear war, Western countries are responding with similar rhetoric. South Korea wants its own nuclear weapons to scare off North Korea, Iran is trying to make its own bomb, and in this world, Elon Musk, instead of taking humanity to Mars, is playing king of Twitter. So we are this close to the event known as a Great Filter. Google it if you don't know what it is. We are all doomed, and this game may be a true image of how the world will look like 5 years from now. Here, nuclear Armageddon awoke godlike leviathans from beneath the Earth's surface, and a doomsday battle between these creatures devastated the planet's surface. Yep, even more. Banners of Ruin. Another dungeon crawler RPG roguelite Deckbuilder. This time, instead of monsters and humans, we're getting smart medieval themed animal warriors, and you are taking the lead. People on Steam are saying that einfach eins der geilsten Singleplayer, das ich je gespielt habe, aber am Ende musste selbst wissen. I have no idea what that means, but it's a positive review, so I hope I didn't accidentally curse your mother or something. You'll have 6 races to explore with unique racial card pools and passive to choose from. You will level up your characters to unlock talent cards and powerful skills that can drastically impact your strategy. Well, that is if you have one. That is assuming that you are a smart war leader, true hero, and so on. And you are, never doubt yourself, you beautiful schmuck. And now subscribe, don't be a digital orphan without a loving channel. Also, if you like this video, I invite you to watch another. Click on it and let's continue our wonderful journey together. Let's be friends with benefits. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll
See you next time. Bye.